I am Lieutenant Dr. J. Chinna, Assistant Professor of Commerce, ABV Government Degree College, Jangam. Today, I am going to discuss about management. Today, we are giving the lesson on concept of management, scope of management, and principles of management. What is the concept of the management? First of all, we have to learn. The concept of management is as old as human civilization. The concept of management is universal and is applicable to all types of organizations. It is useful and essential to all types of business organizations, irrespective of their size, area, and scale of operations and nature of ownership. It is necessary for educational and health institutions, military organizations, clubs, trade associations, chambers of commerce, etc. In other words, management is a universal process. According to the modern management thinkers, management is a process of integration 6 Ms with men, material, machines, methods, money, and markets. The term management may be referred to a distinct process of allocating inputs, physical and human resource by typical managerial functions, that is planning, organizing, directing, and controlling for the purpose of or achieving predetermined organizational objectives. Okay, this is the concept of the management. Next, we have to go to definition of the management. There are so many authors has given definitions are here. Among them, we have to take few definitions of management we have to discuss here. First, according to Frederick Wilson Taylor, management is knowing exactly what you want men to do and not to do. It is the best and cheapest way. According to Frederick Wilson Taylor, he was given the definition to the management as management is knowing exactly what you want men to do and then seeing that they do it in the best and cheapest way. It is one of the definition. And second definition of the Mary Parker Follett, he said management is the art of getting things done through people. Okay, it is he said it is nothing but art. Okay, by getting the things and do through the people. Next, according to Ralph C. Davis, management is a multi-purpose organ that manages a business and manages manager and manages workers and work. It is one type of definition. And according to Donald J. Koff, management is the art and science of decision making and leadership. Okay, it is the modern definition of the management. Okay, it is a modern definition of the management, that is it is a science and decision making leadership. Okay, in next slide we have to learn about the scope of management. What is the scope of management? Here basically the scope of management divided into two parts: subject matter of management and second is functional areas of management. One by one we have to discuss here. Under the first heading, the first scope of the management is planning. It is the basic function of management. It deals with chalking out a future course of action and decision in advance, that most appropriate course of actions for achievement of predetermined goals. Okay, first of all, we have to make a plan to do, to not to do, whatever it may be. First of all, you have to do the plan for future goals. And second is organizing. It is the process of bringing together physical, financial, and human resources and developing productive relationship among them, or achievement of organizational goals. Okay, the organizing is nothing but bringing together physically and financially as well as human resource also. And third scope of management is staffing. It involves meaning the organizational structure through proper selection, appraisal, and development of personnel. The main purpose of this staffing is to put the right man on the right job. Without staffing, the management not do anything. So they have to select a good persons and give the training to them and promotion, and they have to give the promotion to them also. Okay, without good staff there is no organizations. So that it is a one type of scope. And fourth one of scope of management is directing. It is a process of guiding, instructing, and overseeing the performance of workers to achieve organizational goals. It emphasizes four sub functions. Those are supervision, motivation, and leadership, and communications. These are comes under the directing of the organizations. Okay, and fifth scope of management is controlling. Without controlling, the workers not work properly. The immediate subordinates not do the proper work. So that it is the process of checking whether or not proper progress is being made towards the objectives and goals, and active if necessary to correct any deviations. So that it is the one type of scope. And second main scope of management is functional areas of management. Under functional areas of management, there are five type of scopes. Number one is financial management. Financial management includes accounting, budgetary control, financial planning, profit planning, and managing the overall finances of an organizations. And second scope of areas of management is personal management. Personal management includes a recruitment, training, transfer, promotion, demotion, a retirement, termination, labor, welfare of labor, social security, and industrial relations. These are the main comes under the personal management. And third one, production management. Under the production management includes production planning and control, plant location, layout and maintenance, quality control and inspection, and time and motion studies. These are the comes under the production management. And fourth scope of management is marketing management. Under the marketing management is concerned with marketing aspects of the product. It deals with the price determination, channels of distribution, market research, sales of promotion and advertisements. Okay, the marketing management functions totally comes under the management part. And final functional areas of management is office management. The main areas of office management are office layout and environment, handling correspondence and mail, typing and duplicating, record management and filling, indexing and office supervision. These are the main scope of managements. In next slide, we have to discuss about principles of the management. Okay, each and every management have their own principles. According Henry Fayol has a right to called the father of administrative management. For his practical approach to the management theory, he has identified 14 fundamental principles of management. These are the 14 principles are one by one we have to discuss here. Number one is division of labor and specialization. Second one, authority and responsibility. Third one, discipline. Fourth one, unity of command. Fifth one, unity of direction. Sixth one, subordination of individual interest to general interest. And seventh one is remuneration. Eighth one is centralization. Ninth one is collar chain. 10th one is order. 11th one is equity. And 12th one is stability of tenure. 13 is initiative. And 14 is spirit de corps. These are the main 14 principles of the management according to Henry Fayol. Okay, these principles we have to discuss one by one. What is the first principle of the management is division of labor and specialization. Division of labor is a famous principle of economics put forth by the classical economics like Adam Smith. Henry Fayol applied this principle to management theory. The division of labor leads to specialization, which is turn improves the efficiency of the employees. Okay, it is the main principle of the and first most principle of the management. And second principle of the management is authority and responsibility. According to Fayol, authority and responsibility must flow in the same direction. Responsibility is not natural outcome of authority. A proper balance between authority and relationship helps to prevent the misuse of authority and promotes a fair fixation of responsibility. So, this is the main principle of the management. And third principle of the management is discipline. What is the meaning of discipline here? Discipline means observations of certain rules and regulations. People in the organization should be bound to accept certain code of conduct. The three basic requisites of the discipline are disciplined supervisors at all levels, clear and fair agreement on goals, and judicious applications of the penalties. And a fourth principle of the management is unity of command. According to this principle, the employees should receive orders only from one supervisor. If more than one supervisor exercises their authority over the same employee, then the latter will always be in a state of confusion, and a confused employee will never be able to perform to the best of ability. So it is one type of principle. And next principle is unity of direction. The unity of direction is essential for achieving unity in action. In the pursuit of common goals by a group of persons, for this file advocates one head and one plan. Unity of direction, that is one head and one plan, is not same as unity of command. That is, one employee receives orders from one supervisor only. One person cannot receive more commands from more persons. It is a confusion. That's why directions also comes under the only one person have to give the direction and one person have to take the receiver. This is the one type of principle. Then sixth principle of the management is subordination of individual interest to general interest. According to this principle, the fulfillment of the individual objectives in the long run is contingent upon the attainment of common objectives in short term. Thus, in case the need arises, an individual must sacrifices in favor of larger group objectives. And next, seventh principle of the management is remuneration. Remuneration is the price of paid to managers and workers for the services rendered by them. According to file, the system of remuneration personnel should be fair and satisfactory to both employees and employer. It should be attractive in order to employ and retain the best personnel. So, this is one type of principle of management. And the eighth principle of management is centralization. Everything that goes to increase the importance of subordinates role is decentralization, and everything which goes to reduce their role and significance is centralization. There should be a fair balance between the degree of centralization and decentralization in order to achieve the best results. And the ninth principle of the management is scholar chain. Scholar chain refers to the line of authority from the highest to the lowest executive in the organization for the purpose of communication. However, in the routine course of business, employees at the same level can communicate with each other following the principle of Gangplank. That is, scholar chain is shown in the diagram. Okay, later we can discuss about it. So, the Gangplank is a chainer. That is, what is the Gangplank principle here from bottom to top or top to bottom. That is the chain system. And next principle of the management is order. According to Henry Files, scientist has recommended two types of orders in any organizations. These orders are material orders and social order. Material order means a place for everything in its place. And social order demands employment of the right person in the right place. And 11th principle of management is equity. The principle of equity implies a sense of fairness and justice to all, and observations of the principles of equity alone makes personal, loyal, and devoted to the organization. Loyalty and devotion must be elicited from the person personally through a combination of kindness and justice while dealing with them. Okay, and 12th principle of management is stability of tenure. An employee needs time to adjust with new work and its environment and demonstrate efficiency and higher performance. Therefore, stability of tenure is a desirable principle for ensuring efficiency. Unnecessary employees turnover is the cause and effect of a bad management. And 13th principle of management is initiative. Initiative is the freedom to purpose and execute a plan. To have freedom in this respect is greatest satisfaction for an intelligent person. A manager who includes his subordinates to think and act on their own is always better and more successful than the one who does not. So, it is the 30th principle of the management. According to Henry Fayol, the last principle of management is esprit de corps. Esprit de corps is French phrase which means union is strength. It means spirit of loyalty and devotion of the group which one belongs. It is the foundation of sound organization. It can be achieved by avoiding the dirty policy of divide and rule and promoting free communications. These are the principles are flexible and require stable adjustments and modification in view of situational factors operating in different enterprises. These are the main principles. Today we have to learn about the introduction of the management and concept of the management, as well as we have to learn here the scope of management and the principles of management of Henry Fayol also we have to learn in this lesson. Okay, thank you, Wonderlal. Thank you very much.